Continuing our Marvel Cinematic Universe coverage on this channel, we're going to be talking about how the Midnight Suns order has already been introduced into the Marvel Cinematic Universe, with most casual Marvel fans not even noticing it or really paying attention, and it really is going to pay off come the end of Doctor Strange 2 in one way or another. So yo, what is good YouTube, Warstu here. If you are new around here, make sure to subscribe to never miss any of the Marvel DC pop culture content we do on a daily basis. It really does help the channel if you could please like, subscribe, and comment and share this video. If you want to check us out on Instagram and see the beautiful face behind the beautiful voice, check us out on Instagram at Warstu. And also if you want to interact with us personally on Twitter, check us out on Twitter at WarstuG. So we've already had two instances in the Marvel Cinematic Universe of the Midnight Suns formation without even knowing about it. So right at the end of WandaVision, the Darkhold book, where Wanda, Doctor Strange, was actually supposed to appear in a post-credit scene, but for some reason he didn't. So the magical entities, the magic side of the MCU is coming. So at the end of WandaVision, we hear both of Wanda's children coming, somehow connected to the Darkhold, which is very connected to Doctor Strange 2. So careful for spoilers, don't want to ruin your life. So that was the first instance which ties us everything into Doctor Strange 2. As we know, Wanda is going to be the overall villain of this movie. No, it's not. It's Shamagora. No, they can't use Shamagora for legal issues. No, it's not. It's got a Ganctus. Well, it's neither of them realistically, but it could be, but it's definitely Wanda. So, also in the post-credits scene for the Eternals, Dane Whitman, played by Kit Harington, nearly used the Ebony Blade as he's going to become the Black Knight. But this was the first time we heard Mahershala Ali Blade, which is another connection, which also does mean Mahershala Ali Blade and Kit Harington, aka Black Knight, could actually be included in Doctor Strange 2, as it is really a magical multiverse-based story. And I really hope they are going to introduce the Midnight Sun Order, or start to formate it properly in Doctor Strange 2, as we've said at the end of WandaVision, and also the post-credit scenes of Eternals. They've already actually introduced the Midnight Suns in some kind of way. So, if we go back to an exclusive that the hashtag show had during May last year, May 2021, they had an exclusive saying GhostRider coming to the MCU, and now there's like 25 plot leaks of GhostRider appearing, and yeah, GhostRider should be appearing if information is true, but they had the original story. So let's go ahead and read what they said. We can exclusively confirm the GhostRider is coming to the MCU. When the rights revert, Marvel had to decide what to do with the character. How does Johnny Blaze fit into the Marvel Cinematic Universe? This was said. I've seen concept art from Doctor Strange Into the Multiverse of Madness that shows GhostRider. From what I've seen and heard, it'd be a cameo at best. But considering Multiverse of Madness is exploring the multiverse and will have some horror elements, a cameo will fit in the movie whilst not distracting too much from the rest of the film. Whilst GhostRider can appear in his own movie, it is said, like Hulk, he'd be used in other movies as a side character. It went on to say the character started off in the comics but then moved on to movies, with Nicolas Cage playing Johnny Blaze twice in the film GhostRider and The Spirit of Vengeance. Those films range from stupid fun to stupid meh. It was a fun romp with the character, but Marvel isn't going to continue with that track. As for now, Marvel isn't going to bring back Gabrielle from Agents of the Shield or Nicolas Cage. It will be Johnny Blaze character but recast. So it's worth saying this article is back from May, and according to information I've been told, it's actually going to be Johnny Blaze, but it's actually going to be a Nicolas Cage version, but it's going to be a variant with a blue flame instead of the iconic orange flame we've all seen in Nicolas Cage GhostRider. It was absolutely hilarious. So we've got the Moon Knight series coming out next month, which is part of Marvel's Monsterverse. No, we're not talking Kaiju, Godzilla, or Kong, but seeing as they are monsters, werewolves, demons, zombies, etc., you could call them monsters in some capacity. So we also have the Marvel's Midnight Sun video game coming out allegedly in 2022, which is going to be freaking fantastic. And I don't think this is a coincidence that there's going to be a Marvel Midnight Suns Order game, and they just happen to be introducing multiple characters. This does make sense why Mahershala Ali was introduced and was brought out back in 2019 in San Diego Comic-Con, where they revealed his character, and he's only been used in the post-credit scene, presumably because the plan was slightly modified due to what happened in the world. As we know, Doctor Strange 2 originally had a different director, Scott Derrickson, but because they wouldn't go past PG-13, he kind of had to walk away from the project because he wanted to do a full-on full-fledged version of a horror movie. But Kevin Feige was like, yo bro, we're not down. So what actually is the Midnight Sun? Before we talk about how it's going to connect. So 9 beings with ties to the cult were drawn together by Doctor Strange to battle Lilith and a demonic children, Lilith. The various individuals that compromised the initial group had already had their own brush-in with Lilith, but most were unaware of the full magnitude of the presidents until Doctor Strange magically drew them together to hold Lilith in Greenland. The desperate warriors were not formally grouped at the time. Some of them, a number of them, were actually openly hostile to certain others, only working together out of the need to deal with the immediate threat posed by the demons. So essentially they were formed of heroes and anti-heroes. Despite this, Strange still named them collectively as the 9, and after sending most of them away, so over the years there's been various different members of this actual group known as the Midnight Suns Order. There's been multiple different variations, but most of them have a variation of one: Doctor Strange, Morbius, Blade, Dr. Voodoo, Elsa Bloodstone, even Iron Fist, Moon Knight, Scarlet Spider, One, and many other characters, the Punisher, Warstu, etc. A Midnight Suns team was briefly formed by Morbius to hunt down zombies that had infiltrated Earth and other realities to try and stop the spread of some crazy virus. Now this is how Morbius from the Spidey Sony universe could connect into this as well, and this is why it's going to be very interesting to see if Alyssa Bloodstone is actually going to appear in Doctor Strange Into the Multiverse of Madness, and it's all got some massive connection to do with the Darkhold. Is someone trying to break through the barrier that is reality? Now this is where the story really starts to take off. So as we know, Wanda's mind will essentially be corrupt by the Darkhold, but is this due to the evil elderly god known as Warstu? Okay, not Warstu, sorry guys, I know some of you guys hate it. I just can't help it sometimes. So let's carry on. I'm actually on about the elder god known as Chthon. Wrote all his evil works and spells on indestructible parchments, originally written on flesh before transcribed to stone, and later as collections of the parchment, often referred to as Chthonian scrolls. The page were later bound together into a tomb of the codex named as the Darkhold. So this is where the story really kind of comes into intertwine, and why I think this is all to do with building up the Midnight Suns Order, or some variation of it, by the end of Doctor Strange 2. So is Wanda being manipulated by the Darkhold, hearing her children screaming when realistically we all know her children are going to be safe? Is it really the elder evil god Chthon trying to break through? As we know, there is a variation of Shamagora in the trailer, although for legal copyright issues they can't use the name Shamagora, so it's Gargantus, even though we actually do know it is Shamagora, because every single creator online and every single Marvel fan, when they seen the official merchandise picture for Gargantus, was like, yo, that is pretty much Shamagora. So the Darkhold has had many different names, the Book of Sins, and it was always said this book is so freaking evil. So Chthon left these scrolls on Earth, so they might always serve as an intertwined connection to other realms for Chthon influence and power. So realistically, the Darkhold is key to everything, and realistically we could have a case where Chthon is really behind everything in Doctor Strange 2 Into the Multiverse of Madness, and he is really corrupting Wanda's mind into thinking that her children are not safe, when realistically her children are frequently absolutely safe based on every plot leak we know so far. So as we know, due to the copyright and Netflix issues, technically yes, we did have Matt Murdock, Daredevil, Charlie Cox appear in Spider-Man No Way Home, and we did have Kingpin Wilson Fisk himself appear in Hawkeye. So could they form the actual real team, the original OG team of the Midnight Suns? No, they couldn't at the moment, but realistically they could use a variance of it. We could have Moon Knight, they could even bring Black Knight in, we could use Mahershala Ali Blade, they could bring the original Netflix Punisher through as well, but it's the likes of Elsa Bloodstone, who I'm not too sure about if they're actually going to bring that character into the MCU at the moment. And we know members like Iron Fist, GhostRider. I mean, technically we've had a GhostRider in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but they've already said Gabrielle won't be used, so they most likely will use people like Wong, like Moon Knight, like Punisher, if they have arranged everything, because as we know, Punisher is supposed to appear in a post-credit scene for the ending of Moon Knight. And if that's the case, he will be part of the Moon Knight order that they are trying to bring in. And there's so much evidence to suggest the Midnight Suns will be introduced during Into the Multiverse of Madness, because they already have kind of been introduced by the factor of having the Darkhold book purposely put in there in the original Doctor Strange. Oh, that book's out of range. You're not allowed to touch it. Evil spells. And then having the book again go full send, go full circle, having Wanda study it, hearing her kids crying out, but realistically, it's not. It's the evil elder god coming for her, or trying to use her in order to break into our reality, or some variant of that. And also, they have not just secretly put Blade Mahershala Ali connection with Black Knight, saying, are you ready for it? And it's definitely Mahershala Ali's voice, as that was confirmed. And it's not a coincidence that we've had multiple rumors, leaks, scoops, if you like, dating back from 2021 May, when the hashtag show said Johnny Blaze, GhostRider was going to appear. And then the Twitter scoopers are saying stuff like, yeah, there's definitely a GhostRider in there. Although there is no plot leak that suggests that Chthon is behind everything Into the Multiverse of Madness, we know they did do reshoots, and it wasn't just for cameos, as the director himself doesn't even know if the movie is actually finished. So for all we know, there is a huge Chthon storyline coming where he's realistically gonna come through, and that could be the crazy post-credit scene. There could be a Lilith and a Lilith storyline in this movie, slightly, where Chthon's behind everything. It would make so much sense if that is the storyline they're gonna go down, because like I said, guys, they introduced the Darkhold book years ago. Chthon's got to be behind it, but if that's the case for another movie, it sure will be. I'm not saying they're going to introduce Midnight Suns completely in the Multiverse of Madness, but Kevin Feige and the people over at Marvel Studios are definitely setting up a future Midnight Sun. So what I want for you guys is to please like the video, subscribe, comment, share it everyone, tell everyone you see about this video, about this channel, or that'd be much appreciated. But also let me know, which members of the Midnight Sun do you actually want to appear in this movie? I think it would be sick if we could get John, the aka the Savage Punisher from the Netflix series, get a version of Mahershala Ali Blade in there. That would be pretty cool. Get any version of GhostRider in there. That would be freaking fantastic. Throw Moon Knight in there. Obviously Doctor Strange, the Sorcerer Supreme. After one dies in Multiverse of Madness, that's just a theory, he will become the Sorcerer Supreme. That would be freaking insane. And I guess because it's a bunch of anti-heroes, villains, and anti-heroes, you could throw Daredevil in there. Daredevil's already been introduced, but as we know, they haven't exactly introduced all the members of the Midnight Suns at the moment, so it won't be the original variants of the Midnight Suns we have. But you could throw Hellstorm in there. There's so many different characters you could throw in there, but I don't think this is going to be the case. You're going to have a full-on Midnight Sun right at the end of the Doctor Strange 2 movie, although the merchandise on Amazon for Doctor Strange 2 does imply there's a massive Avengers battle in this, and you're telling me that's just to take out Gargantus, aka Shamagora? Not even once. And I don't think it's going to take every Marvel Cinematic Universe hero to take out Wanda Maximoff. Yes, it was pretty much confirmed that if Wanda wanted to, she literally could have taken out Thanos by herself. So maybe that is the case. We don't know, but it is interesting. Scott Derrickson's departure. He wanted to go full on horror, but Marvel didn't want this. But something for sure is we are definitely getting a version of the Midnight Sun at some point. Whether Chthon or Lilith or Lilith is behind the Darkhold, they wanted to break through the reality or introduce them in some capacity, that will probably be for a Midnight Sun Disney Plus show or movie somewhere down the road. But there's a lot of people talking about the Midnight Suns. Everyone wants it. Can't wait to play the freaking video game. Let me know what you think of this kind of video, guys. It's kind of a theory, but it's kind of based on reality, and it's based on what we know, and it's also based on pretty much how is it going to go down because of the post-credit scene for WandaVision, and also because of the post-credit scene for Eternal. So like always, guys, please like, subscribe, and comment. Check us out on Instagram at Warstu. Check us out on Twitter at WarstuG, and I'll catch you in another video very soon. Catch you later.